Hello and welcome, my dear friend. Something powerful is awakening within you, and today you're here to remember how amazing your life is about to become. Even if you can't fully see it yet, your spirit has already begun to sense the shift moving beneath the surface of your life. It's time for you to realize this. Your future self is waiting, holding the power you need right now. But before you can step into that, let's talk about what's already unfolding. There are moments in life when everything you've been carrying starts aligning in ways that don't logically make sense. And this is one of those moments. As we speak, you have already planted a seed, whether in yourself, a project, or in your personal growth. That seed is growing, and its purpose is far greater than you've ever imagined. It's a gift not just for you, but for this world. You, yes, you, have been chosen to heal this earth, to bring something into existence that will change lives. Can you feel the weight of that purpose? Even in your quiet seasons, even in your battles, your calling has been speaking to you, pushing you, stretching you toward who you truly are. Let me remind you, dear chosen one, your mission is divinely guided, and God has chosen you as the vessel to carry out this task. That's not small, it's extraordinary. When heaven selects someone, everything in their life becomes intentional. Every moment, every person, every experience, your path, your gifts, your abilities, none of this is random. You were born with them for a reason. And even the gifts you haven't fully embraced yet are waiting for you to recognize their value. Let's talk about this seed you've planted, this mission that's unfolding in your life right now. Because this is the part where many chosen ones begin to feel the shift long before they understand it. Many of you have been feeling it, a pull, a nudge, a sense that you're meant for something so much greater than what's on the surface. This is no ordinary life you're living. You are here to fulfill a purpose, and not just any purpose, but one that has been ordained by the divine. There's a reason you never fit into small spaces, a reason you've always felt different, a reason your spirit refuses to settle. It's grand, it's monumental, and it's beyond what you might currently comprehend. But even if you cannot see the whole picture, God can, and He's been guiding you every step of the way. You see, you came to this earth with a soul contract, a promise made between you and God. This isn't just about fulfilling earthly goals or checking off accomplishments. No, it's deeper. You signed off on this mission before you even arrived here. Your arrival was intentional, your timing precise, your path written long before your first breath. Relationships you've encountered, especially the challenging ones, those with family, close friends, or even that deep connection with someone who sparked your spiritual journey, were all part of this divine contract. They were designed to push you to evolve, to grow, and ultimately to remember who you truly are. Now let's dive into something powerful, the alchemy of your pain. Because pain has been one of your greatest teachers, even when you didn't want the lesson. I know many of you have gone through hardships, challenges that felt impossible to overcome. From childhood traumas to relationships that broke you, each experience has shaped you into the incredible person you are today. You've been turning your pain into purpose from the moment you were born, even if you didn't realize it. There has always been a light inside you, even when you couldn't see it yourself. It's no accident that you were able to find ways to survive those dark moments, whether it was through art, music, or simply finding moments of peace in chaos. Those were divine gifts showing you your power. The power to transform, the power to alchemize, the power to rise from the ashes stronger than ever. And every time you rose, heaven took notice. Chosen ones, this ability was never random. It was placed within you to show you the power of resilience, to demonstrate that no matter how deep the pain, there is always a way to turn it into something beautiful. You are a walking testimony to the power of transformation. And here's the most incredible part. You have a soul contract with God Himself. This contract has been shaping you, preparing you, and guiding you, even when you felt lost. That's right. You didn't just come here to fulfill basic earthly desires. You came here on a divine mission signed by you and God. There is a level of destiny over your life that cannot be denied, delayed, or destroyed. The gifts you've been given, the wisdom you hold, and the way you see the world with such depth and clarity, all of this was intentional. You see, God doesn't create anything without purpose. When He crafted you, He crafted purpose into your bones. If you ever doubt your worth, your purpose, or whether you belong here, let me remind you, you wouldn't exist if you weren't meant to be here. You are not some background character in the story of life. You are the main character, the chosen one, here to fulfill a mission so grand that it required a contract with God Himself. You were built for this, designed for this, prepared for this. It's easy to fall into the trap of asking, why me? Why did I have to go through so much pain? I know it's a question many of you have asked yourselves, especially when life feels unbearably heavy. But even those questions were part of your awakening. But let me tell you, there is purpose in every ounce of your pain. Nothing was wasted, nothing was meaningless, nothing was random. God placed you in challenging situations for a reason. It wasn't to break you, it was to forge you into something unshakable. He knew what you would become after the storm. There is something beautiful about losing yourself, because when you find yourself again, you do so with a depth you couldn't have reached otherwise. And when you rise from that place, you rise stronger, wiser, and more powerful than before. Your rebirth is one of heaven's greatest masterpieces. Every challenge you faced was part of your spiritual training. The divine wanted you to experience the depth of darkness so that you could rise into the light. Light is always brightest after becoming familiar with the dark. And now, having overcome those trials, you are being prepared for something extraordinary, something so aligned with your soul contract that it will feel like coming home to yourself. You're not just here to survive, you're here to thrive, you're here to expand, you're here to unlock the next version of your destiny. So what is this grand purpose you're here to fulfill? It's simple yet incredibly profound. You are here to be an embodiment of love. Love in your presence, love in your words, love in your impact. At the core of your soul contract is this one mission: to stay in the energy of love no matter what. Through all the challenges, through all the losses and heartaches, your higher purpose is to radiate love into this world. This is the vibration that transforms everything around you. Think about it for a moment. God chose you to show others what is possible when you live from a place of love and light. You are a living reminder of what is possible through faith. Your story, your journey, it's a testimony to the power of the divine. You are a walking example of what can happen when you trust in something higher, when you allow faith to guide you, even in the darkest moments. Even when you had nothing left, you still had God, and that was enough. You may not even realize it, but you have been equipped with certain abilities, talents, and wisdom that are unique to you. Whether it's the way you communicate, the way you see the world, or the depth of understanding you carry, these are not ordinary gifts. These gifts were chosen specifically for the mission attached to your name. They were given to you by the divine to help you fulfill your mission here on earth. Perhaps you've noticed how effortlessly you can shift the perspective of those around you just by sharing your thoughts. Or maybe you've felt the pull to create, to speak, to guide others in their own journeys. None of this is by accident. These abilities were planted within you because you are here to make a significant impact, not just on your own life, but on the lives of others. You are a catalyst for growth, transformation, and awakening. As you continue on this journey, know that God is aligning everything for your greatest good. Every challenge, every delay, every disappointment was preparing you for the exact moment you're in right now. You are standing at the edge of your own becoming. The struggles were meant to refine you, to shape you into the person who is capable of handling the immense blessings that are about to come your way. Blessings require strength, and you've earned yours. Your pain had purpose. It was the fuel that sparked your spiritual growth. And now you're ready for what once seemed impossible. Now you're in the middle of something big, something life-changing. And it's not just for you. The ripple effect of your transformation will reach far and wide, touching the lives of countless others. Your breakthrough will inspire breakthroughs in others. I want you to know that your suffering is coming to an end. Not because life becomes perfect, but because you have become stronger than anything that once tried to break you. While life will always have its ups and downs, the heaviness you've carried, the burdens that have weighed you down are being lifted. You've done the work, you've grown, you've healed, and heaven has seen every moment of it. Now it's time for you to step into the life that was always meant for you. The you that exists right now is stronger, wiser, and more capable than ever before. You are ready to face any challenge that comes your way, but now with a new perspective. A perspective rooted in love, trust, and faith. So, dear chosen one, if you're listening to this right now, let this be your confirmation. You are aligned with a purpose far greater than you realize. Every experience, every challenge, every gift has been leading you to this moment. God has big plans for you, and it's time for you to step into your power. You are worthy, you are capable, and you are ready to fulfill the mission you came here to complete. Before you go, if you'd like to sit in this same peace a little longer, I've created a place for that. My second channel, Simplified Serenity. It's filled with worship instrumentals made for prayer, meditation, and stillness. A quiet space for your heart to breathe, rest, and connect with God. Just tap on the playlist on your screen. I'd love to see you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. Let me say this plainly. Heaven did not just watch you survive, it just changed your rank. There has been a quiet decision made about you in the courts of heaven. Not a suggestion, not a maybe, a decision. And this one is already leaving fingerprints on your everyday life. Even ordinary mornings feel less like recovery and more like readiness. You move through your day with a steadier center, like something in you finally knows where it stands. For a long time, heaven has been leaning in over your life, not waiting for you to fail, not keeping score like a harsh critic, watching, studying, taking in every small, costly yes. There were moments you didn't even think were spiritual. The night you could have exposed someone and stayed quiet instead. The morning you went to work with a heart still bruised from the day before and chose integrity anyway. Those were not throwaway moments. Those were examinations. If your life were a song, most people only ever heard the chorus, the bright, presentable parts. But heaven leaned close to the verses, the tremor in your voice, the breath between words, the soft, unfinished parts. That's where your real music lives. What caught heaven's attention wasn't a role you played. It was the way you let pain sculpt your compassion instead of hardening it. You didn't become cynical after betrayal. You didn't weaponize truth after learning how sharp it can cut. You learned to let gentleness stand its ground, and that made heaven pause. That is what shifted your rank. Because spiritual authority isn't given to those who shout the loudest. It's entrusted to the ones who stayed honest when pretense would have been easier. Promotion in the spirit is not a trophy. It's acknowledgement of endurance. Heaven looked at you and said, "They've proven they can carry more without losing their core." You thought you were just holding on. Heaven saw a leader being born. Think back over the last season, how you prayed through doubt and discipline, not just devotion. How you forgave people who never even noticed the forgiveness. How you chose to rebuild your peace one quiet morning at a time. Those weren't gestures of weakness. They were signs of governance, proof that your spirit could rule what once ruled you. Heaven doesn't ignore that kind of proof. There comes a moment in every army when a soldier is called into a silent room. No applause, no witnesses, only a superior sliding a new insignia across the table and saying, "From this moment your authority changes. That's what just happened to you." In the spirit, you were summoned forward. Angels stood back. Your history stood behind you. And God reviewed every detail, the tears, the restraint, the unwavering sincerity, and said, "Now they're ready." Nothing about that moment was theoretical. Something literal was placed on your life, and since then you've felt it, even if you couldn't name it. You walk through familiar spaces and notice that what used to exhaust you doesn't get as far as it used to. You answer messages differently, with calm instead of panic. You notice when peace leaves a room, and somehow, without forcing anything, it finds its way back when you speak. That's not ego, that's elevation. Chosen ones, this is what a real spiritual promotion feels like before it looks like anything. It's the quiet confidence to make slower choices. It's hearing gossip and feeling no desire to join in. It's realizing you no longer need to explain your calling to be understood. It's finding rest in places where you used to feel constantly on edge. Your presence now carries a kind of steadiness that can't be rehearsed. You've become the safe place you once looked for. That's why heaven moved your rank upward, because while others built platforms, you built character. While others gathered followers, you gathered wisdom. While others performed faith, you lived it, unseen, but recorded in full. If you pay attention, you'll see life around you starting to match what God has already known about you for a long time. You're not imagining it if your decisions feel clearer. You're not being proud if your voice feels calmer. That's what it means to stand where heaven has already seated you. Right now, your name has been moved on a board you can't see. Some parts of life may actually feel more demanding now, right alongside the new ease, the new openings, the strange good things beginning to find you, and in the silence that follows, heaven breathes in. The sound before your new name is spoken out loud. When God calls you by a new name, it doesn't always sound like words. It sounds like life starting to treat you differently. Some of it will feel beautiful, some of it will feel heavier. Both are signs your rank has changed, because when heaven trusts you with more, it doesn't just send comfort, it also sends assignment. You might notice this first with people. Someone who never took you seriously suddenly listens when you speak. Someone who used to joke at your expense can't seem to do it anymore. Not because you threatened them, but because something in you no longer agrees to being the easy target. This will push some people away simply because they can't steer the conversation anymore. That's spiritual authority in real life. Not lightning in the sky, just clear boundaries that don't shake when someone pushes against them. But let's be honest, some people will feel uncomfortable around this version of you. The ones who preferred you uncertain, apologetic, always second-guessing yourself. They might say you're not who you used to be. They might call you cold or distant, when really you just stopped shrinking to make everyone else relaxed. Chosen ones, your new rank will show up in three main places. In what you allow. You'll feel a quiet refusal rise up when something isn't right for you. Old habits, old dynamics, old roles you used to play, they just won't fit anymore. In who comes to you. Strangers will open up quickly. Family members will bring you their real worries instead of the edited version. People will say, "I feel safe talking to you," and they won't always know why. In how you hear God. You'll notice more clarity, not a constant stream of answers, but a steady sense of this way, not that way. Stay here, don't go there. It's not drama, it's guidance. Promotion doesn't mean every day becomes light and easy. Sometimes it means the conversations you're part of are more serious. The choices you make affect more people. Your words cut deeper in both good and bad ways. That's why heaven waited to trust you with this. God watched how you handled pain when no one was looking. Now he's watching how you handle influence. You're not allowed to use your story to crush others. You're not allowed to use your new confidence to make anyone feel small. That's the weight of this rank. You carry more, so what you do with it matters more. You'll also notice this shift inside your own thoughts. Before, you might have spent hours replaying what people said, wondering if you did something wrong, trying to fix their view of you in your mind. Now, you'll catch yourself saying, "I know who I am. God knows who I am. That's enough." And then you move on. That isn't arrogance. That's finally stepping into the identity heaven's been holding for you all along. There will be moments when you look at your life and think, Why does this feel so serious all of a sudden? It's because more is being trusted to you. You might be the one in the room who sees clearly what everyone else is avoiding. You might be the only person in the group who isn't comfortable pretending. You might feel like the anchor now, the one who keeps things from tipping into chaos. It's not by accident. You've been trained for this without even knowing it. Every time you chose truth over image, every time you sat with discomfort instead of escaping it, every time you walked away from drama instead of feeding it, you were building the strength you're using right now. You may also notice something else. You're less impressed by noise. Loud confidence doesn't move you like before. You listen for consistency now. You watch how people treat others when there's nothing to gain. That's how God looks at people. And the more your thinking mirrors His, the more authority you carry without even trying. My dear friend, these aren't random chances. They're assignments that finally match who you've become. Don't talk yourself out of them. Don't shrink back, because the old you feels underqualified. The old you didn't get this invitation. The current you did. You're going to have to practice something new now. Walking like someone who has already been chosen, instead of asking to be picked. That means you stop chasing rooms that don't respect you. You stop explaining basic kindness to people who enjoy misunderstanding it. You stop wasting energy trying to prove you've changed to those who are committed to your old story. Dear chosen one, you don't need to perform your new rank. You just need to live like someone God trusts. Because that's what this whole shift is about. Trust. He trusted you with pain, and you didn't waste it. Now He's trusting you with honor, and He's expecting you not to waste that either. So, when you feel the weight of this change, the new responsibility, the new clarity, the new eyes watching you, remember this. You are not standing here by accident. You were watched. You were measured. You were found faithful. And heaven's decision has already been made. Your rank changed. Now, your life will, too. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If this message resonated, please like, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to stay connected. Continue your awakening journey by choosing one of the videos on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. Let me start with something direct, because there's no gentle way to say this. There's a reason you don't post your photos anymore, and it's not insecurity. It's not shyness. It's not being private. It's because something in you has changed, and you can feel it every time you try to hit upload. Chosen ones, this shift didn't begin on the outside. It started somewhere deeper, somewhere you don't often put into words. Here's the truth you've never said out loud. You don't like being looked at by people who cannot see you. For years, people misread your expressions, your silence, your heart. They guessed wrong. They projected. They twisted simple moments into stories that had nothing to do with who you were. And eventually, you learned something most people never do. Attention is not the same as understanding. So now, when you think about posting a photo, a quiet voice inside you hesitates, not from fear, from wisdom. Because the truth is simple. People study your pictures more than you think. They zoom in, they compare. They read things into your eyes that don't belong there, and somehow, even across a screen, you can feel it. It's strange, isn't it? How you can sense the difference between someone looking at your photo with genuine warmth and someone looking with judgment, or envy, or pretending they know you based on a frozen moment. That sensitivity is not imagination. It's spiritual awareness, sharper now because of everything you've lived through. God didn't hide your face. He sharpened your discernment. You feel intentions now, not just attention. You feel the weight behind someone's gaze, even digitally, and you know more than ever that a photo isn't just a photo. It's permission for people to decide who they think you are, and your spirit is tired of being misread. Think back to the days when posting felt simple, when you didn't feel the room watching you, when you didn't sense the motives behind the likes or the silence. Now, you feel the atmosphere even in the digital world. You feel the difference between admiration and assessment. You feel when someone is studying you instead of seeing you. That's not paranoia, that's growth. You've become someone whose presence carries context. Your story carries meaning, and your eyes, whether you like it or not, tell the truth about where you've been. There's a new steadiness in your face now, a maturity, a clarity. Your expression reveals things you once hid, your resilience, your boundaries, your depth. And because of that, posting a picture feels like giving out access you no longer owe anyone. You didn't stop posting. You evolved, and your spirit knows the truth. The old version of you, the one comfortable being visible to everyone, no longer exists. Do you remember the last time you took a picture you actually liked? How you stared at it and thought, I look different. Not prettier, not worse, just different. Like your eyes were holding a truth you hadn't spoken yet. Like your face finally matched the person you've worked so hard to become. That moment wasn't random. You grew faster than the environment around you. And giving people something to analyze, your posture, your smile, your eyes, feels wrong now. Not scary, not dramatic, just wrong. Because deep down, you're protecting something. You're protecting your peace. You're rebuilding, your stability, your softening. Not out of fear, but out of respect for the person you are becoming. Chosen ones, there's another layer to this. Your photos tell the truth, even when your words don't. Even when your life is quiet. Even when you're still figuring things out. Your face shows the truth anyway. Your eyes carry it. Your energy leaks through the image whether you want it to or not. And you've had people misread you too many times for you to hand out that kind of access casually. You've had people treat your honesty like entertainment, your vulnerability like weakness, your evolution like gossip material. So your spirit made a decision before your mind ever did. Not everyone gets access to me anymore. And that's why posting feels uncomfortable, not dramatic, just inappropriate. Like revealing something sacred in a place that hasn't earned it. It's not hiding, it's not insecurity, it's alignment with who you've become. You stopped giving strangers a window into a process they never helped build. You stopped letting old acquaintances check in on your growth through a picture. You stopped letting people study your changes without understanding the journey behind them. What you're guarding isn't your face. You're guarding your becoming. Because photos once documented your life. Now they reveal your spirit. And your spirit is not for everyone. So if you've hesitated to post, if you've hovered over share and suddenly felt exposed, if something in you says, this doesn't feel right anymore, it's because some eyes don't deserve access to the person you are now. And my dear friend, what God has been building in you is something people were never meant to witness prematurely. There's something else you need to understand about this shift in you. It didn't happen because you became distant. It happened because you became accurate. Accurate about who deserves access. Accurate about what drains you. Accurate about how people read you without ever asking you a single real question. When your spirit matures, your privacy matures with it. And posting pictures suddenly becomes less about sharing life and more about giving strangers a doorway into your energy. That's why you hesitate, because deep down you know this. Every picture is a piece of your presence, and you stopped giving your presence away for free. Some people only want a glimpse of you so they can fill in the rest with their imagination. And you've lived long enough to know that imagination is usually wrong. You've also seen how quickly people form opinions based on one angle, one expression, 1 second in time. That used to bother you. Now it just feels unnecessary. Your spirit outgrew the need to be interpreted. Dear chosen one, here's another truth. You are not meant to be consumed the way the internet consumes people. Your face carries too many layers. Your eyes carry too much memory. Your presence has too much weight for quick scrolling. This is why you feel different about yourself lately. It's not vanity, it's awareness. You know when someone is looking from curiosity. You know when someone is looking from envy. You know when someone is looking just to compare themselves to you. Your discernment is no longer something you turn on, it's something you live in. And here's the part most people will never understand. You don't hate taking pictures, you hate the feeling of being misread through them. There's a big difference. Think about it. You can stand in front of a mirror and feel fine. You can take a photo and think, this actually looks like me. But the moment you think about posting it, there's a pull, a pause, a quiet interruption inside you. Not because you doubt yourself, because you understand yourself. And that understanding changed what exposure means to you. Exposure used to mean attention. Now it means vulnerability you didn't agree to. So you choose silence. You choose to keep your growth sacred. You choose to keep your evolution unobserved until you decide otherwise. That's not fear, that's spiritual maturity. Let me put it this way. When God starts building something in you, He also starts protecting the space around you. And people forget that growth often requires privacy. Not isolation, privacy. Privacy gives your spirit room to develop without being watched, without being doubted, without being commented on by people who don't even know your middle name. That's why your silence online has been heavier lately. It's not because you're hiding, it's because God has been shaping parts of you that can't be photographed. Your confidence, your discernment, your boundaries, your identity, your emotional clarity, your spiritual maturity. You can't photograph maturity or healing, but they always show up in your photos. And that's what makes you pause. Because whether people admit it or not, they read your eyes before they read your caption. They study your expression long before they understand your story. And this time in your life, this particular stretch of becoming, is not meant to be misunderstood. You don't want someone to see a photo and think they know where you're at. They don't. And honestly, they're not supposed to. This version of you is not for casual observation. Chosen ones, listen carefully. Your photos reveal your growth before your life does. And God knows that. That's why He's been tightening your circle, why your urge to share has decreased, why your spirit feels more guarded, more intentional, more selective. Because people can sense your evolution even through a still image, and not everyone handles that correctly. Some admire it, some misinterpret it, some envy it, some fear it. And God doesn't want your evolution landing in the wrong hands, so He placed a restraint inside you, a hesitation, a quiet knowing, the kind that whispers, wait, not yet. Not because you're unworthy of being seen, but because the new version of you isn't finished forming, and when God is still building, no one else gets to walk through the construction site. Not co-workers, not old friends, not distant relatives, not people who only watch your life from a distance. This season is your protected season. And when it's time to be visible again, you won't feel that pause anymore. You won't hesitate. You'll know instantly, I'm ready. They can see me now. Until then, honor the intuition. Honor the pause. Honor the fact that your spirit is saying what your mind hasn't yet. I don't want to be observed. I want to be understood. And, my dear friend, the understanding is coming, not through photos, but through who you are becoming next. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If this message resonated, please like, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to stay connected. Continue your awakening journey by choosing one of the videos on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. Did you ever notice that no matter how faithful you stayed, how clean your heart was, how loyal and trustworthy you were before God, your life still didn't move the way it should have? Chosen ones, that wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't bad luck. It wasn't you doing something wrong. Someone, knowingly or unknowingly, has been in the way, and God is exposing it now. Because when a person's blessing gets delayed that long, despite obedience, despite purity, despite endurance, it's almost never random. There's always a hand in it, a voice in it, a presence in it, and heaven has finally decided to remove that presence from the equation. But before we get to that, let's talk about something you rarely admit. Your attention didn't stay on God and yourself all the time, because for years it was forced by society to survive other people's reactions. Every time you made progress, someone had something to say. Every time you shined a little brighter, someone dimmed the room. Every time you rose above what tried to break you, someone whispered, judged, compared, or questioned your right to grow. You weren't distracted because you lacked focus. You were distracted because people kept pulling your focus away. And here's the truth you've never said aloud. You've spent more energy managing people's opinions than receiving God's blessings. Not by choice, by necessity. Because some people around you didn't just misunderstand you. They mishandled you. They monitored your progress while secretly being threatened by it. And some didn't want to see you rise at all. But listen closely. Heaven saw every one of them. The intentional ones, the unintentional ones. The ones who smiled while slowing you down. The ones who loved you but couldn't handle your calling. And the ones who prayed for you publicly and competed with you privately. Chosen ones, God is exposing them. Not to embarrass anyone, but because your path has been blocked long enough. You felt it, didn't you? That strange, stuck season. That I'm doing everything right, but nothing is moving feeling. You blamed yourself. You questioned your decisions. You wondered if you were missing something. But the blockage wasn't coming from within you. It was coming from who was standing around you. Someone you trusted, someone you tolerated, someone you kept giving the benefit of the doubt, was spiritually, emotionally, or energetically limiting what God could release in your life. Sometimes intentionally, sometimes out of jealousy, sometimes out of their own brokenness. Sometimes they didn't want you to outgrow them. Sometimes they were terrified of losing access to you, or they simply couldn't see you win without feeling small. And sometimes they were praying for you while sabotaging you with their words when envy slipped out. You felt all of it, every time a blessing got close, and then something suddenly fell apart. Every time an opportunity was right in front of you, and then the door somehow closed. Every time you were finally ready to rise, and something or someone threw confusion into the atmosphere. You weren't imagining it. You weren't being dramatic. Your spirit was picking up on the truth before your mind could make sense of it. Because the chosen ones don't need evidence. They feel it. They sense the shift. They know when something or someone is affecting the flow of their life. And here is the truth you need to know. The blockage is being exposed because your season can't start with them attached. You know, your blessing is too heavy for the wrong hearts. Your elevation is too sacred for casual connections. Your next chapter is too expensive for cheap loyalty. So God didn't just expose who's been blocking you. He made the blockage uncomfortable for you to stay in. That's why life's been getting harder lately. Why you feel less connected to circles you used to tolerate. Why your spirit gets irritated by things you once brushed off. Why certain names, certain vibes, certain energies feel off. That's not attitude or moodiness. That's God pulling back the curtain. He is exposing the ones who doubted you quietly, the ones who spoke against you subtly, the ones who competed with you secretly, and the ones who underestimated you continually. Not to shame them, but to free you. They're not evil for reacting this way. They're just not as grounded or as protected as you are. Chosen ones, your life didn't move because there was interference. But that interference is breaking now. And once you slow down enough to recognize what's been draining you and step out of it, you're going to feel free in ways you've never felt before. Because blessings are already here, but you have to make room for them by noticing what blocked them all along. And for the first time in a long time, your blessing is about to reach you without passing through someone else's insecurity. But here's something most people never realize about a spiritual blockage. It's not always caused by someone who openly dislikes you. Sometimes it's caused by someone who loves you but can't handle your calling. And that's the part God is exposing now. Because the biggest interference doesn't always come from enemies. It comes from people who grew comfortable with the version of you that no longer exists. They didn't mean to hold you back. They just never imagined you'd grow this far. Some people only supported you as long as you stayed relatable, as long as you stayed manageable, as long as your blessing didn't outshine their comfort zone. But the moment God began elevating you quietly, the moment your spirit rose faster than your environment, you outgrew the roles they kept placing you in. And your blessing started hitting walls because you were surrounded by people who still saw you as the before version of yourself. God couldn't release the after while you were still surrounded by the before. That's why the exposure had to happen, not to punish them, but to free you. Because the truth is this: you cannot carry a destiny forward while dragging relationships that belong to your past. And God knew you wouldn't leave them on your own. He knew you'd keep giving them chances, keep hoping they'd grow with you, keep believing their heart would match your intentions. So He allowed the tension to increase, not to hurt you, but to reveal what you couldn't see in peace. My dear friend, listen to me carefully. There is nothing wrong with you for feeling disconnected. That's what elevation feels like before it's visible. And here's the most important part. Your blessing wasn't delayed because you were unprepared. It was delayed because God refused to let the wrong people benefit from your next chapter. Because each person should have gone through their own path, and they can't hang on to you forever. God didn't want your miracle landing where jealousy would distort it. He didn't want your breakthrough celebrated by mouths that secretly doubted it. He didn't want your next level witnessed by hearts that weren't pure toward you. So instead of releasing the blessing early, God protected it. He waited, watched, tested every connection around you, and then He began exposing, gently at first, then louder, then unmistakably, until you could no longer pretend everything was fine. That irritation, that heaviness, that shift in how people responded to you, it wasn't random. It was God saying, "Look again, they can't go where you are going." Because part of your spiritual maturity is learning how to move forward without guilt. Some people were lessons, some were assignments, some were temporary bridge builders, some were reminders of who you never want to be again, but they were not meant to accompany you into the future you've been praying for. And once you understand that, the pressure lifts, the confusion quiets, the path clears. Because here's the truth, your spirit already knows. You're stepping into a season where only aligned hearts can stay. Not perfect people, but aligned ones. People who don't compete with you. People who are their real self around you. People whose soul doesn't get threatened when God hands you something beautiful. Your blessing needs that environment. Your assignment requires that support. Your calling needs that safety. So don't take this exposure as heartbreak. Take it as God rearranging the room for your arrival. Chosen one, please listen. Your blessing was never denied. It was delayed until the wrong eyes were removed. And now that God has exposed what was blocking you, now that the hidden resistance has been revealed, your spirit is going to feel something it hasn't felt in a long time. Momentum. Real momentum. The kind you don't have to force. The kind that doesn't require fighting. The kind that comes from God clearing the path by hand because the interference is gone. And when the interference is gone, the blessing flows. Doors open without resistance. Help arrives without asking. Opportunities appear without explanation. People treat you differently without you changing a thing, not because of luck, but because nothing is blocking the blessing anymore. My dear friend, the shift is already underway. You're going to feel it. You're going to see it. You're going to walk into something that was yours from the beginning, finally unfiltered, finally unobstructed, finally unblocked. And when it reaches you, you'll realize it was never delayed. It was protected. Your blessing is coming straight to you now. And this time, no insecurity, no comparison, no hidden jealousy, and no silent interference will stand in its way. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If this message resonated, please like, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to stay connected. Continue your awakening journey by choosing one of the videos on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. If you found this message tonight, it's because God has been watching the quiet heaviness sitting inside you, the kind you don't talk about, the kind you just carry, and He wanted to meet you in that silence before it becomes too loud. You're here because your spirit is tired in a way sleep hasn't been fixing. And somewhere deep inside, you can feel there's a reason for it. And you're right, there is. Spiritual exhaustion has a different texture than physical tiredness. It shows up as wanting to stay in bed all day. It shows up as losing interest in conversations you used to force yourself through. It shows up as craving quiet, craving stillness, craving a moment where nothing demands anything from you. You're not avoiding life. You're not falling behind. You're not unmotivated. My dear friend, you're tired of fighting, and God sees it. This isn't failure. It's fatigue from battles you never asked for, but fought anyway. You held yourself together during seasons that took more from you than anyone knows. You carried relationships, responsibilities, and emotions that were far too heavy for one person. But you still kept showing up because that's who you are. And even when your spirit whispered, "I can't keep this pace anymore," you pushed through one more time, and then one more. And then one more. You kept praying, kept trying, kept pushing, kept holding everything together, even when your own strength felt like it was thinning out. God heard those whispers long before you admitted them to yourself. And right now, He's not correcting you or urging you to push harder. He's pulling you into rest. Not the kind of rest you collapse into. The kind where God steps in and says, "You've been holding too much alone. Let me carry the part that's been crushing you." You may have noticed it already. Your body has been slowing down before your mind understood why. Your energy feels unpredictable. Some mornings you wake up strong. Other days it feels like gravity doubled overnight. Even your thoughts feel quieter lately, like the noisy part of your spirit got unplugged. This may feel like burnout, but it's not. This is God guiding you out of survival mode. When a long season of spiritual warfare ends, the soul doesn't leap straight into joy. It loosens first. It exhales. It sits still so the pieces that scattered in the storm can come back together. That's why people around you don't fully get it. They think you're pulling back. They think you're less social. They think you're distracted. But the truth is, you're not distracted. You're recovering. You're not withdrawing. You're recalibrating. You're not avoiding life. You're giving your soul permission to heal from things it never got to rest after. And that healing requires stillness. It requires emptiness. It requires moments where you lie down longer than usual and let God touch places inside you that only rest can reach. Dear chosen one, rest is not spiritual laziness. Many times rest is a divine command. It's God pulling you away from the noise so He can reset the parts of you that battle damaged. Think of it like a device that overheated after too many tasks at once. It doesn't break, it goes into a protective shutdown, not because it's ruined, but because it's valuable. That's what God is doing in you. Your spirit isn't failing, it's switching modes, so the next version of you has a foundation that can last. And there's something very important you need to hear. When God pulls you into rest, it means a new chapter is near. He would never let you be this tired for no reason. He won't let your desire fade unless He's about to replace old routines with new direction. He won't let your spirit withdraw unless He's preparing a path your current strength can't walk yet. That's why He's slowing you down, not to punish you, to ready you for joy to come. Your tiredness is not the ending, it's the turning point. Before we go deeper, my dear friend, let me gently ask you, if this message is speaking to what you've been feeling, the heaviness, the confusion, the desire to lie down and breathe, take a second to like and share this message. There are other chosen ones right now, wondering why they feel the same exhaustion, and you may help them understand it before they blame themselves for something sacred. But for now, pause and let this truth settle into your spirit. You're not losing yourself. You're not becoming someone you don't recognize. You're not failing your purpose. God is pulling you into rest because you survived something that required more strength than you'll ever give yourself credit for. And the one who watched you fight is now the one calling you to finally breathe. You know, sometimes the hardest part of being chosen is that people only see the moments where you look strong. They don't see the nights where your soul felt like it was unraveling. They don't see the moments where your body felt heavy for no reason. They don't see the quiet prayers you whispered, asking God to give you one more ounce of strength just to get through the day. But God saw every one of those moments, and He didn't overlook a single one. You were never meant to carry everything endlessly. You were never meant to wake up every day in survival mode. You were never meant to live in a state where your spirit was always bracing for the next hit. That's why this rest feels so different, because it's not just a break, it's a reset. There's a difference between being done and being drained. You're not done. You're being drained of everything that doesn't belong in your next season. The fear, the pressure, the noise, the expectations you never agreed to. And when God drains something from your life, it always feels like fatigue first, before it feels refilling. That heaviness you've been waking up with? It's not the end of your drive, it's your old energy dying off. That sudden need to lie down longer than usual? It's not weakness. It's your spirit releasing battles it never got to process. That desire to be quiet, to isolate a little, to disconnect from anything loud or chaotic. That's not you acting different. That's what healing sounds like inside the soul. Sometimes healing starts with feeling empty. Sometimes healing looks like nothing is happening at all, but internally, everything is shifting. Because God doesn't rebuild you while you're running. He waits until you slow down. He waits until the noise fades. He waits until the exhaustion becomes undeniable. Only then does He say, "Now I can touch the parts of you you've been protecting for years." And this is what I want you to understand clearly tonight. Rest is part of your calling. It's not optional. It's not weakness. It's not delay. It's what makes the next chapter even possible. If you don't rest, you can't receive. If you don't slow down, you can't hear. If you don't step back, you can't notice where He's trying to take you next. Your spirit already knows this. That's why your body is forcing you to pause. That's why even small tasks feel heavier than usual. That's why your old routines feel foreign now, because God is detaching you from the life you were surviving, not living. And this is the part most people never talk about. When God pulls you into rest, He also pulls away certain people, certain habits, certain environments, not to isolate you, but to insulate you, to guard the work He's doing in you, to keep your heart from being overstimulated by what He's removing from your future. Your tiredness isn't ruining your progress. It's revealing your direction. You're entering a season where your spirit won't tolerate what drains you anymore, where your peace becomes louder than other people's expectations, where God Himself becomes the pace setter of your life. That's why He's softening everything inside you. That's why certain interests feel distant. That's why you find yourself craving simplicity, silence, and stability. Your soul is preparing you for the version of life you prayed for, the one that requires a healthier, calmer, more restored you. And I need you to hear this in the deepest part of you. You haven't fallen behind. You're not late. You're not being punished. You're being realigned. You're resting because the next phase of your calling needs a stronger foundation, not a faster pace. The kind of strength you're stepping into isn't built through constant motion. It's built through deep recovery. It's built through mental quietness. It's built through giving yourself permission to stop carrying everything alone. What's coming next requires clarity. It requires a heart that's not exhausted. It requires a spirit that's not leaking old wounds into new blessings. So if you've been wondering why your body feels done, why your spirit feels heavy, why you find yourself lying down longer than usual, it's because heaven is restoring you from the inside out. Your story doesn't end in exhaustion. Your story is moving towards something healthier, something holier, something that finally lets you breathe without feeling guilty for needing rest. Lift the pressure off your shoulders tonight. Let your spirit soften again. Let God refill what life has been draining from you. Because rest isn't your retreat, it's your preparation, and the version of you that's about to rise from this quiet season is the one you've been praying for your entire life. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If this message resonated, please like, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to stay connected. Continue your awakening journey by choosing one of the videos on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. If you're hearing this, it's because heaven wanted to remind you that being chosen is not a punishment. It's one of the highest honors in existence, even if it doesn't always feel like it. When God places his fingerprint on a soul, he doesn't choose at random. He studies hearts. He looks for endurance, honesty, and humility that can carry something eternal. So when he chose you, it wasn't for your perfection. It was for your capacity. He saw something steady in you, something rare. He saw that when others would break, you'd bend and keep walking. When others would run, you'd stay and pray. When others would forget him, you'd still whisper his name. That's what caught heaven's attention. And that's why there's a weight on your life that not everyone can carry. Because chosen doesn't just mean favored, it means trusted. It means God looked across a generation and said, "Who can I place this much purpose on without it crushing them?" And when he asked that question, your name echoed back. Most people dream of being chosen. Few understand the cost. Because every divine calling comes wrapped in contradiction, joy and ache, favor and loneliness, celebration and pressure. And it's that pressure that has followed you all your life. You've probably felt it before you could even describe it. That sense that you were carrying something bigger than you, that invisible responsibility that never seemed to leave, that exhaustion that made no sense because you hadn't done anything wrong. That's not burnout, that's capacity expanding. You were being stretched for what you were destined to lift. You might not realize it, but every spiritual calling has physical weight. It shows up as responsibility, sensitivity, empathy that drains you, discernment that isolates you. You don't just see pain, you feel it before it even happens. You walk into a room and sense things before anyone speaks. That's not paranoia, that's perception. That's evidence that heaven trained you differently. There's a reason others collapsed under what you survived. They didn't fail because they were weak. They failed because it wasn't their assignment. You can't hand a mountain to someone whose spirit was trained for flat ground. And that's where your story starts to make sense. You weren't chosen to prove you're better. You were chosen because God had to protect the mission. He needed someone who could carry contradiction, someone tender enough to love people and strong enough not to become them. That balance is rare, and it was forged in you. Maybe you've noticed you don't get away with shortcuts. When others drift off path, they seem fine. But when you take one wrong turn, conviction hits immediately. That's not punishment, that's protection. God doesn't let chosen souls wander long. He redirects fast because your delay affects destinies beyond yours. That's the pressure you feel, the invisible reminder that your life is attached to more than your comfort. You've been given a weight that builds spiritual muscle in private before God reveals it in public. So yes, the road has been rough. You've been misunderstood by people who can't imagine living without applause. You've watched others chase visibility while you carried invisible burdens. And it hurt, not because you wanted attention, but because you wondered if God even saw how much you were holding. He did, every ounce of it, and he was quiet. Not because he didn't care, but because he was measuring your endurance. Before God gives you influence, he weighs your shoulders. It's not coincidence that the people who walked away did so right before your breakthrough season. They weren't abandoned. They were released, so destiny could flow without resistance. If they had stayed connected, they would have collapsed under the same pressure that built you. Some assignments look cruel until you realize they were mercy in disguise. That's why you outlasted things that should have finished you. That's why you bounced back from storms that left others silent. Not because you were untouched, but because you were anchored. There's a difference between those who pray for strength and those who were born with it. You were born with it, and that strength had to be proven before it could be revealed. Every weight you carried was forming divine muscle. God wasn't breaking you, He was stretching your edges, because what's meant for you can't rest on something fragile. And now, He's starting to move. You can feel it, that quiet acceleration that makes no sense on paper. Hidden corridors are echoing with footsteps you once thought gone. Accounts God kept in silence are being opened now. Because heaven has decided you're ready to carry what you were once only tested by. That's why the wrong ones couldn't stay. That's why certain relationships ended and you didn't find a reason for them. The pressure wasn't personal, it was prophetic. They weren't designed to breathe at this altitude. You were. So stop wondering why it had to be you. The truth is simple. They couldn't handle the weight. God built your back for it. He carved capacity into your spirit before you ever knew what it would cost. And here you are, still standing, still believing, still faithful. You're not here because it was easy. You're here because heaven couldn't afford for you to quit. This is what chosen really means. It's not comfort, although it's coming. It's responsibility. It's carrying light through darkness and not letting it go dim. It's enduring pain that doesn't make sense, trusting that one day it will, and that day is closer than you think. Because now, the same God who trusted you with the weight is about to trust you with the reward. You have every right in the world to feel tired now. You obeyed in the dark, and now, in the graying dawn, you're starting to see the outline of why. This is the dawning of cause and effect. The why is no longer a spiritual concept. It's a practical reality. You'll look at the resume from 3 years ago and physically cringe, not with shame, but with the realization that if you had gotten the jobs you applied for then, they would have shrunk you. You'll drive past a certain building or a certain neighborhood and feel a visceral sense of having been protected from a version of your life that was too small for you. Get ready for the moments of sudden insight, not mystical, but real. You'll be in the shower or halfway through a commute, and a complete solution to a problem that's been plaguing your team for months will land in your mind, fully formed. This is the dividend on all those hours you spent in silence, training your soul to receive. The prayer you gave up on from 2019, the answer is coming, but it's arriving dressed in 2025 circumstances. It won't look like you pictured. It will be better because it's built for the person you are now, not the person you were then. But this new clarity has a cost. As your vision sharpens, your tolerance for what's out of focus will plummet. You won't just feel led to end that friendship. You'll suddenly see the specific, measurable way it drains your energy and gives nothing back. You'll look at your budget and have zero peace about that subscription or spending habit, not because it's wrong, but because it's funding a version of you that no longer exists. This isn't judgment, it's stewardship. You're being promoted from a tenant of your life to its CEO. And yes, people will notice. Some won't like it. This isn't about them plotting against you. It's far more ordinary. They're confused. Receive their confusion as data. It confirms you're no longer orbiting the same sun. Your gravitational pull is changing. You are, quite literally, moving into a different atmosphere, and not everyone can breathe there. Your empathy, the one that used to leave you drained after family gatherings or crowded rooms, now has a switch. You're learning to sense the undercurrent of anxiety in a room without letting it become your own. You can sit with a grieving friend and hold their pain without taking it home. This is spiritual muscle in action, not the absence of feeling, but the strength to manage the current. You're becoming a conductor, taking in the world's chaos and releasing it back as order and peace. So stand up, Shake off the dust of the old season. It's not a metaphor. Literally clean your space. Delete the old apps from your phone. Unsubscribe from the emails. You are making tangible room for a tangible shift. Please remember, my dear friend, you can wake up tomorrow morning and live a completely different life. You don't have to explain your changes. You can even disagree with your 2 years ago self. And that's not inconsistency, it's growth. The path ahead isn't a glowing road in the clouds. It's the gritty path of applied faith. It's using that new language you learned. It's trusting that contract. It's speaking up in that meeting. It's having the courage to finally set that boundary, not with anger, but with the quiet authority of someone who knows their worth, because they've finally seen the price God paid to secure it. The door is open now. You have to walk through it, with your new energy, your new way of living, your new appreciation for every second spent alive in God's presence, breathing, creating, tearing down what's complete and beginning again, alive with Him in every motion. And this time, when you look at your life, you'll look at it with pride, not because it was perfect, but because it was true. Because you're finally trusting every twist, every detour, every silence as part of divine precision. So don't let your mind argue with what your soul already knows. You are worthy of living exactly as your spirit leads, because that instinct isn't rebellion, it's divine design. God placed the map within you before you even took your first breath. Now it's time to trust that map, the same way He trusted you to walk it. Before you go, if you'd like to sit in this same peace a little longer, I've created a place for that. My second channel, Simplified Serenity. It's filled with worship instrumentals made for prayer, meditation, and stillness. A quiet space for your heart to breathe, rest, and connect with God. Just tap on the playlist on your screen. I'd love to see you there.